Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock podcast,
where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We have received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as onychocryptosis and fourth wash. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, I am extremely excited to announce a new project that not only am I working on, but everyone involved, everyone listening to this can get involved.
Okay. Is it another pyramid scheme?
In a way, I would not call it a pyramid scheme exactly, because I wouldn't say it's shaped like a pyramid. It's more of a, I don't know, what's a square with like a sixth side?
Is it rhomboid? Is it
no
parallelogram? No, that's still a square.
No.
Geode? Is it a geode?
Yes. So, Dr. London, what gets a podcast more publicity than getting into the Guinness Book of World Records?
I get being a celebrity or like having a very popular TV show and then doing like a recap of that show.
Yeah, but people become celebrities by getting into the Guinness Book of World Records. That's how they get their TV deal.
Yeah, that's how Steve Martin did it. That's how Steve Carell
Zooey
did it.
Deschanel got New Girl because she was the guy who had like a beard of bees.
Yes.
Young Sheldon was the long fingernails guy.
I was wondering at that age how he did so well, and it must have been the nails.
Now, Dr. London, I am excited to announce that we are going to be trying to break a record, and I want every listener to try with me. Dr. London, we are going to do the world's largest suicide pact.
Okay. I get. I'll hear you out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all, I know your first concern right now is, do I have to?
That and it's been done, and like that's a pretty big amount of people.
Yeah, but that's why we're gonna break the record.
I know. It's just like I don't think you could do it.
That's why we gotta try, Dr. London.
But
here's
that
the
is a good
thing.
reason to try.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing that people don't know. You don't have to follow through with a suicide pact. You just gotta make the pact. Now that's between you and God. That if you're willing to sign your name on something that you're not gonna follow through on. But like, I really don't want anyone to think that we're encouraging our listeners to self-harm in any way or to put themselves in any sort of danger. We're saying
we do want our listeners to be on shaky ground with whatever deity they worship.
I want my listeners to make their own choices. So, for example, my choice, I'm not going to sign the suicide pact, because I don't want to lie like that.
Yeah.
I'm just organizing it.
Just so you have morals and ethics.
Yeah. But I know that most of our listeners don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is our base.
I'm thinking if we can outdo Jonestown numbers, just in the pact.
Just signatures.
It's just signatures. We could go door to door and just say,
is it blood? Is it thumbprints with blood as well, or is it signature?
Yeah, I mean, probably we could go door to door and then just say, hey, this is for raising money for the community, or raising signatures for the community center. Please put your bloody fingerprint here.
Mm-hmm. And people are like, oh, well, that sounds okay.
Yeah, I love the community center. I'm there every day. Boom, suicide pact. Now I have one little concern, is that I do know that the Guinness Book of World Records people are pretty ruthless. And my fear is that they will ensure that the pact is followed through on.
I think I do have a way to outsmart this thing. Okay. So you know how suicide is also the name of the drink, where if you go to the drink machines at places and you get all the different kinds
Yeah,
in the
and then you
same
put
cup?
arsenic in it.
Yeah. So that, if you just make that, I
Yeah.
think that counts.
And again,
So-
if that's what you want to do, I'm not telling any of our listeners to do that at all. I'm just saying you need to promise and sign your name on something that states that you are going to do such a thing.
Yeah. Which, like, we've all signed, how many times have you said, I agree to terms and agreements, whatever, for
Dr. London,
iTunes?
I agreed to a terms of service the other day. I swear it was 18 pages long. I read maybe 16 of the pages. I kind of sped read them, but I got to the last two and I was like, I think I get the gist, guys.
Anyways, so that was our producer, Cameron. Also with us is Digital in the House. And later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London.
So do look forward to that. But before we move on, I would like to address a bit of listener feedback. So for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of people whose personalities were defined by their dislike for Nickelback. However, in our efforts to cater to them and their disdain for refunds, we found that we were neglecting the many bot accounts that download our podcast. So this week's feedback comes from, let's see, I think it's called TikTok. Okay. This is a comment from @thesillegoose333. They said, quote, delete the podcast, please, end quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. This is super helpful. And it's probably our most frequently requested course of action, right?
It's definitely in person. I would say it's what my parents talk to me about the most in my life.
Yeah.
Is there an option to delete the podcast?
Yeah.
To which I always say, I don't really know.
Well, because you've tried writing the president about this, right?
I would love this podcast to be taken down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we could stop doing this?
Please. Yeah. Because I couldn't remember the president's address. Because I figure we get it to him, he'll sort it through because he knows how to do countries. So,
well, I just assumed I don't know. I think maybe you told me this. I think that's why I think it.
mhm.
That the address for every world leader in their home country is just 123 Main Street.
Well, yeah, it's got to be the main one.
Yeah. And I don't remember if I told you that or if you told me that or if we came up together at the same time.
And we thought, yes, great idea. Yeah, that sounds like us.
Yeah. That sounds about right. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, if you have any tips or tricks on how to delete the podcast, please let us know.
Yeah. Oh, please. And we genuinely, that would be a very helpful comment. Our next comment, this comes from TikTok, and this comment also from @thesillegoose333, quote, why is the quality so low? Question mark, end quote. So thank you so much for this feedback. So I think it's important to note that some comments can be pretty hurtful. And so this one would be kind of like that, I think.
Well, I do understand where the listener is coming from. Like, one look at you and, a person's first instinct is to say, this is not a quality man. This is a man of very, very low quality. Maybe 360p or whatever. Not 720, 1080, 4K, none of that.
I mean, I got a few extra pixels to me, which I don't think is, I don't see that as a negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things where you're just a little pixely when someone looks at you, but then when they start to get to know you better and learn more about you, you become even more, it gets way worse. You become even less quality.
Yeah. So, I hope that answers your question. And thank you so much for that feedback. Now for today's medical topic, IgA nephropathy, or Berger disease. So IgA nephropathy, or Berger disease, is the most common cause of acute glomerulonephritis in the United States. Clinically, patients with IgA nephropathy present with recurrent episodes of gross hematuria, that's blood in the urine, 12 days after an upper respiratory tract infection. And all the other causes of gross hematuria have some specific physical findings. So this is sort of how you diagnose IgA. Despite its name, IgA levels are increased in only 50% of the patients with IgA nephropathy. So the only accurate test for the disease is actually with a kidney biopsy.
This sounds so different than the Berger disease that I was diagnosed with.
Yeah. Did you go to In-N-Out?
Did I get the diagnosis at In-N-Out?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely consulted with them. I consulted with a lot of burger places.
Right.
But the doctor / fry cook or whatever ultimately said, well, I don't think the issue is, the amount of burgers you're eating necessarily, but it's what's on them. Because a lot of my burgers, I do the 7 or 8 patties. If you give them extra money, they'll add up more patties to the burger.
Hold on. Meat patties or some other kind of patties?
You could probably do a turkey patty or a non-meat patty. You know how turkey's not real meat?
Yeah. Well, to me, whenever you say you pay them a little extra, it sounds like maybe this is the kind of thing where you wouldn't pay extra. You would just bring them your own meat or substitute and say, grill this up, add it to it for discount.
You can come already prepared with piping hot, patties of your choice. Mud, turkey, feathers, or whatever. Yes, whatever sort of things that you want. Or you can give them an extra $1, $2, $3, whatever, and they'll put additional burger patties on the burger. So I've been consuming 7,000-8,000 calories every I don't really keep time in the traditional sense anymore, so it's hard to say. But every burger length, the length between burgers is how I've been calculating things. So it's hard to kind of break that down.
So proteinuria levels correspond to the severity of the disease and the likelihood of progression, meaning that more proteinuria corresponds to a worse disease progression in IgA nephropathy. And there's no treatment proven to reverse IgA nephropathy, so 30% of cases will completely resolve, while up to 50% of cases will progress to end-stage renal disease. And severe proteinuria is treated with ACE inhibitors and steroids with a blood pressure goal of under 130 over 80 milliliters of mercury. Millimeters, rather.
The In-N-Out guy, my doctor, he was saying also, it's not just the amount of patties, but specifically the extra patties that you bring with you. A lot of times they seem to be very Robitussin based. It might be, it could be anything. It could be a turkey patty, or it could be a sponge, or some loose paper, or leaves, or whatever that I've sort of soaked overnight in a vat of my homebrew Robitussin.
Right. And they said, look at that, or they said grill it up?
They just said that. They said it's something to consider when thinking about why you have what can only be described as Berger disease.
Okay. Well, I guess good to know and note. And have you?
I'm just saying the stuff you talked about was very different than my experience.
Have you tried just not having that diet?
I would completely lose track of time then, because how would I know one day from the other if I can't calculate between burger times?
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see the confusion there. Cameron, you said we have a guest today, right?
I said we had someone sitting in the shadows that could easily be a guest. Because anyone could be a guest on this show. It doesn't matter.
Hello there. My name is drlennonsmith.com. This is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
My name is Herman Punt. Thank you for having me on. I haven't been able to get in contact with a doctor. I do not have insurance, so thank you for having me.
Oh boy. Okay. Another uninsured. So what you'll want to do, if you go online to healthcare.gov, it's our online. It's the internet. It's hold on. How do you describe that? Cameron, you've walked through.
I know what the internet is. I don't go to gov sites because I don't trust them. But what are you saying?
Yeah, Dr. London.
Well, I just so like normally, so like yeah. Of course, I swore this oath that I would treat people and like, but like we were barely kind of holding it together here. We blew our 5-year budget plan pretty quickly. And so we aren't really flush with cash right now. So I do have to charge patients. So, you're not insured. So I guess
I can give you an animal. Did I say already that I'm an animal handler? I can give you one of those.
Okay.
Yeah,
you put the
Dr. Leonard, are you not open to bartering?
I guess we are down to that, aren't we? Okay.
You have to take legitimate currency. You have to take it. I have assets.
What kind of animal assets are we talking about?
Is this the nurse? Who are you?
I'm the producer of the doctor.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I came in hot because I'm confused. But I wanted to thank you both for raising awareness on Berger's disease. This is something that I've dealt with.
Oh, wow.
My whole life. Nobody knows what it is.
That is sort of the thing. I've gone from In-N-Out guy to In-N-Out guy to a couple Burger King guys. And most of the time they're saying, please leave. Like, we've asked you to leave so many times. But no one seems to give me any sort of
asked me to do the same thing. I know your pain, and it's my pain too. It hurts. It's painful.
If I go to another doctor and they say, sir, if you're not going to order something, please get out of the line. If that happens again, I'm going to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I didn't know who you were, and I yelled at you earlier, but you seem like a very nice guy. I bet they don't tell Dr. Smith here to leave and to pick up all of the dirt behind him. I bet they don't ask you to do that, do they, Dr. Smith?
I learned to hire someone to clean up after. But I just want to clarify one thing here. I know, Cameron, you'd think, oh, it's a guy next to a guy in a white coat. Of course, that's a nurse. Everyone always assumes that's the nurse.
Yeah.
But no, nurses can actually be women now. Okay. And they can be, they can wear coats too. Just want to let everyone, diversity's fine now.
Yeah.
We don't have to be.
Well, just another tip for our listeners, context is important, because if you see your doctor, for example, at a restaurant, that person or people that he's with aren't necessarily a bunch of nurses that are there to sort of support his career. Could be his mother or a sibling, all sorts of things. But one thing is for certain is that the doctor is a he.
So Herman, you said something about putting a handle on animals. Is that like briefcase or like satchel?
No. That's a misinterpretation of the word. I am an animal handler. I work with animals to try to bring them into a particular kind of behavior that is needed by the client that I have. So, as it so happens, I work for a lot of medical companies that like to test their products on animals. And I'm the wrangler. It's me in there who gets the animals to actually take the medicine. You understand now?
Wow. And is that something, you have to get them to take the medicine? You can't just inject them with whatever,
No, listen, let me tell you the first thing you have to understand. I worked at a petting zoo for 40 years, okay? The petting zoo was a bad fucking idea, okay? And I'll tell you why. These animals are terrible. These are bad animals. The animals you see at the zoo, in the pictures, they're all bad. All right? They're not cute. They don't like you. They don't want to be friends with you. They don't want you to pet them. Most of the time, the only reason they let you pet them is because they are romantically or sexually interested in you. That's what you have to understand about the
They're
animal.
delinquents, honestly.
So,
they're troublemakers.
well, they're horny is what they are. They're rabid and they're hungry and they're starved for bodily attention. And so I have to give it to them to some degree. Otherwise, they won't acquiesce.
Give them the medicine you're talking about, the
yes,
testing.
Yes, the med. I don't test them. I just give them the med. I don't know what the medicine's supposed to do. I don't ask. I don't care.
Right. You just help to make them docile through.
That's right. And there's a lot of animals. There's some animals you could probably temper down. It's possible. But there are some animals that we want to test on that we really can't if you don't have someone who's trained to abbreviate them.
To grab them by the...
so to speak.
Okay.
Grab them by the whatever. It depends. It's very dependent animal to animal where you want to grab them.
Well, how can we help with whatever you need help with? What do you need from us?
Well, what I would like for you all to do is to pitch me as a service to other medical companies. I need to know which products and people I need to be reaching out to, because right now I tell you it's hard for me right now because some people are out there and they don't want me to be doing what I'm doing. They say, no, this is bad. What you're doing is immoral and unethical. And it isn't. It is moral and it is ethical.
You're talking about these PETA guys. I remember
get me started.
These PETA guys. Okay, so this was a few years ago or whatever. Pre-COVID. That's important. Pre-COVID. I was operating this dog ring out of an abandoned Sears.
Fun.
And suddenly I get these people pounding on the door. All these PETA, animal rights, blah, 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 blah people showing up, showing me their badges, arresting me, taking me to jail, putting me in front of a judge. And now I'm here 5 years later.
Listen, Cameron, I'm sorry.
Thriving.
I don't know what to tell you. They show up with badges. Anyone can have a badge. Next time, don't let a badge get in the way of doing what you love or doing what you have to do to survive. In my case, keep doing the dog ring. A badge isn't, what does that mean? Nothing.
That's what I tried to say to the judge. I said, that doesn't mean anything. I could have brought in a badge if I wanted to. I just didn't feel like it today. I have one at home, is what I said. Because that's what I kind of thought that's what made people not go to jail, is if I had a badge on me.
Well, yeah, but nobody tells you that until they slam you in the clinker, do they? No, never. Don't leave without your badge. But we've all been there, we've all been there. Dog ring and J.C. Penney parking. It's tired. It's a terrible situation. But yes,
it was a Sears. I don't want to conflate the two.
Sorry. Fuck.
And it wasn't in a parking lot or anything. It was inside the abandoned Sears.
It was in the building. Yeah.
I'd been sort of living there. It was kind of my residence.
That's nice. That must have been nice. Good rent.
Oh gosh, so spacious.
Well, the dogs were not super space. They didn't get that you needed personal space.
The dogs occupied and owned most of the department store, yeah, certainly. But I had my little corner sort of, marked off with my territory.
So do you still have these dogs, Cameron, or what's your relationship with these dogs now?
Well, I don't really know because, I was thrown in jail for so many years and now I'm back. I have had dogs following me lately. I'm thinking they're wanting work. They're out of work fighting dogs. They're like, hey man, what's up? You gonna hook us up?
The dogs can smell it on you. They know when they've got a fighter handler on you. And that's a tall order, Cameron.
Yeah, and then the other issue is that the abandoned Sears that I was using is now an abandoned Best Buy, which is just not the same vibe.
No. Not at all. I was breeding in a circuit city for 7 years before I started working exclusively with medical suppliers. And I've never gotten better results than I did in the circuit city.
I'm sorry,
It's never been the same since then.
you were breeding, or they were? I just want to like who's doing what.
The animals I had, we were in an abandoned circuit city for a while because nobody was checking. Nobody with a badge was coming by Circuit City. That's for damn sure. So we set up shop there, and we breeded a lot of things: dogs, cats. A lemur. I breeded a lemur. I breeded cockatoos for a long time. But the point I'm trying to make is the yield was never better than when it was in the Circuit City.
Yeah, I get that. Now, so if you would like to, because we do have connections to a lot of different medical companies, especially Dr. London. He is a doctor, but I would argue he's much closer to a lobbyist. It's a lot of sort of quid pro quo with government officials, and you know the deal. He's a doctor.
Well, yeah, we hang out. I'll get them a little something, and they'll get me a little something. It's not like it's not transactional so much as it is favors.
It's just hanging out with
sure.
friends.
Yeah,
and
we're actual
you get them.
Tricks, okay.
And it's bipartisan too. I want to say
nice.
It's bipartisan, and I know this is an election year. People are gonna get all freaked out about it, but really, it's just. We're just hanging out and getting to know each other as people.
It's just people.
Yeah.
It's just people.
Well, and they owe you one because of the thing you did.
Oh, yeah. With their
So they owe you a favor.
Yeah, their kid should not have done that. And I made sure no one knew about it. Yeah. Changing those records was not easy.
But I mean, so Dr. London, Dr. London and I can pitch you to these medical companies and maybe just some politicians, whatever. But what's the pitch? Like, what makes you such a special guy to test your animals? Like, why should companies want to use you for their testing?
I'm glad you asked that question. I have some animals with me, and I'd like to introduce them to you if I could.
Sure.
And they can't tell their story, but I'll tell you the story if you'll have it, and you'll understand what kind of a service I'm bringing. Would that be okay?
Yeah. Well, Karen, can we sidebar for a second?
Yeah, me and London, we're just gonna, here, you can play some games on my phone and just give me and Dr. London a little privacy for a second. Yeah, Dr. London, what's up?
Okay.
So he's saying something about, he's asking if we're okay with listening to him tell about his animals, but I feel like maybe his animals could talk, and that's what he's hiding.
Right, it does feel like he's robbing them of any sort of agency by sort of telling, sort of co-opting someone else's story and then sort of telling their story as if it was his.
Is it ghostwriting, or is he are the animals getting paid? This is me kind of jumping more. Are the animals the brains behind this whole operation, and they've just convinced this one human man to be their spokesperson, and so they actually are benefiting from it, and they're just funneling it through him because we would recognize him more as an equal.
I mean, I guess we could ask him that.
Okay. Yeah, I wish you hadn't sidebarred. It would have been easier to just ask him that whole thing.
Let's just get out of the sidebar real quick.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Hey,
can I get my phone back? Sorry, you're kind of hogging it a little bit.
Sorry, I couldn't figure out the game. It wouldn't take the face, so I didn't win, but it's locked out now.
It's a lock screen. You have to push in the different number combination to open it.
No,
I couldn't figure it out. It's a good game, though. I give you that. It's a good game.
Is that there's a bunch of numbers and you press it, and after a certain amount of time, it hard resets the whole phone.
Yeah,
I figured that out. Yes.
Okay. So we were wondering, are the animals controlling you, or are you controlling the animals?
I am controlling the animals. I mean, as best as I can. The animals I brought today are docile, so I can I can show them, and they won't splash out or anything like that.
Okay, I mean, you said that they're all bad guys though earlier.
They're terrible. These are terrible animals, but they've been muted, so to speak.
Dr. Lennon, I think the best thing to do is just let's meet some of the animals, and then we can pick up the vibe of kind of who's alphaing who, like who's actually in charge here.
Yeah. I'm scared that I'm going to be alphaed. Is where I'm at right now.
Well, I mean, just you saying that, you're already alphaing me. Because I'm so scared.
Let's see the animals.
One of you needs to figure out who's the dominant one in this pack. God damn it.
Wait, Herman. What's the first animal here?
Okay. Let me just one moment. All right.
Okay. Oh, go.
This first one here is a sloth.
Oh, wow.
This is a sloth.
And for the
Her
listener,
name,
it's some sort
I call her Leah Michelle.
It's an animal.
Because she's hard to work with and she can't read.
Oh,
right.
Wow.
Okay.
So this is.
She was mean to that girl.
Now she was.
Time.
You're talking about the sloth?
Yeah, probably. Now sloths I know to be very dangerous creatures. I remember a viral video from years ago of actress Kristen Bell crying and shrieking in terror after Ellen, Ellen doing her weird pranks where she forces people to, do unspeakable things. And she sort of sicked this sloth on the poor girl. And Kristen
I
Bell,
would never have done what Ellen did. I did work with the show when I dealt with their animals, but she was terrible.
So what makes this little guy such a good thing that we can poke and prod with needles and do testing on?
Well, one fun fact I like about Leah Michelle. Ow! Don't do that. One thing I like about Leah Michelle here is that she's not afraid to show her feelings, but in a nice way. So when she's sad, she'll come and she'll stroke my chin. She's not right now, but she would if she were sad. When she wants to eat, she goes and she taps lightly on the back of my knees with her claws. See these? And all right. And occasionally, when she's in the mood, she will hump me.
Oh, wow.
She'll hump me wherever she can get her hands on. She'll hump me.
Yeah, what a nice experience for you.
Well, it's not good for me. It's
Oh.
okay. No. All right.
Oh, and there she goes.
So, okay.
Okay.
She's in heat. I'm sorry. Hold on, I gotta.
Should we be cheering this or saying no to? Oh, okay. And he is struggling.
No,
with...
this is bad.
Okay, this is a whole. Okay, I get. Do we shoot? Do we shoot it?
No.
Well, I don't know which one's which.
No.
They look the same to me.
She's good.
They're both
she is subdued.
Slow.
She's subdued. I'm sorry. She's not normally. She is good. She can be tamed. She just wasn't in that moment.
Well, that's typical Leah Michelle is, if she's given what she wants, like a lead on Broadway and Funny Girl, then she's happy. But if you don't give her what she wants...
I don't know what those references
the
are.
Sloth terminology.
This is sloth slang.
Okay, do you have another animal
Sorry
for us?
about that. Yes.
Yeah. And listeners, just ignore the sound of booze being swallowed there. That's not a part of it, I don't think.
Sorry, I didn't know. This next one, this is a leopard seal.
Oh,
this
wow.
Is Jeff Bridges. I know. No, it's okay. No, this is good. I call him Jeff Bridges because he's got a big tummy. You can see here.
Yeah.
And he doesn't tip.
Oh, wow.
I'm instinctively showing my belly. Is that normal?
No, it is not normal to instinctively. Don't do it. Now you've got him revved up.
Yeah,
don't
Dr.
stop.
London is now
Keep
submitting to the seal sort of establishing the seal's dominance.
Yeah.
That's very good. Wait, did someone tell you how to do that?
Well, it's instincts.
Yeah.
This is what I know to do.
Well, people always say it's
That's
fight
very
or flight,
good.
but there's fight, flight, and then roll over on your belly. And you learned that last one to a T.
Yeah, with a lot of training. Yeah.
Hold on, sorry.
No, it's fine. The seals,
Hey, Cameron,
oh gosh, okay, definitely getting.
Cameron, I'm sorry to do this, but since Dr. Smith showed his belly, Jeff Bridges is he thinks you're being disrespectful by not showing yours. If it's
well, so there's an issue, so this is not a shirt. This is the thing that's holding in a lot of my organs right now, and until that kind of scabs over. If I lift up the shirt, I mean, it's just I'm gonna be sort of disemboweled instantly.
okay,
can I show some ankle? Maybe like lift up a little bit.
Yes, but please, right now, please.
Oh God.
Oh, check out that ankle.
Oh.
Look away,
Is that
London.
better?
It's not for
Isn't
you.
that-
Yeah. Well, no.
That's much better, isn't it, Jeff Bridges?
Is he also like Jeff Bridges in the sense that after he did The Big Lebowski, he's like, hey, I'm just going to talk like this forever now. You know how I didn't talk like this before this movie? Now that character is just my life, and that's who I am.
The seal was not in The Big Lebowski.
Okay, so I didn't know. I was not exactly sure. I was trying to think. I was like,
You're
I know
thinking of the
Tara
actor,
Reid
Jeff
was in
Bridges.
it.
This is no. I don't handle either of them. I don't know them. I just know this is the seal, Jeff Bridges.
Okay.
I don't have an animal named Tara Reid. Does that answer your question?
I think so. Are there any other animals to show us?
I do. I have one more. If you want to see him,
Yes, please.
good. All right.
God, do I have to touch it?
No, you don't have. No, I mean you. Well, you don't. You can if you want. I'm sorry.
Is this okay?
You want me to put him away?
Well,
Just stop making Dr. London touch it.
I've seen these outside of the doors of my friends. They're always hanging on their doors. This animal,
Yeah.
and it's
Yes.
so
I call him Hennessy because he's fun, but he's hard to take, and I never remember a night out with him.
Oh, wow. And can you,
Would
for
you
our
like to-
listeners, can you describe this animal for us?
Sure can. I'd say he looks like a pineapple.
Yes.
He's not. He's an algae amorphous that originates from the South Pacific Ocean. But he looks like a pineapple, and he's got protruding orange. They look like legs. They're not legs, though. They're roots. These are the roots that we've cut off here.
Legs or testicles, maybe testicles that are separated by his body.
That's right. Very good observation, Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
And we have here this looks like the leaf of a pineapple, but it's not. It's not that. They're there for grabbing nutrients.
Oh, wow. And Dr. London, when you said this, you see this on your neighbor's house a lot, like a picture of this thing, but it's upside down, and they like ask you like how your vibe is doing and stuff. I'm like, you should really come hang with like me and my husband sometime.
yeah. And I'll go over there. I'll be like, "Hey, what's up?" Oh, and then I'll get a call for the hospital. And I'll be like, I wish I could stay. And they'll be like, "Yeah, man. Whenever you want to come by, we'll have the music going. Hop by whenever." Yeah. Always. It's always
You guys,
happening.
you two are cool guys. You're cooler guys than I am. I just know this from the show, from the cartoon show,
From the
SpongeBob.
right, the
I mean,
psych.
the
Yes.
SpongeBob. It's the
So
it's like
they
Chuck
actually
Norris
got
and
that
he's like
wrong.
fighting crime.
Right.
Yeah, they got that wrong in the show. They thought it was a pineapple under the sea. It's not. It's this creature.
It's a swingers.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
this pineapple creature. Yeah, that's for swingers.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, this creature genetically contains the solution to Lyme disease. But we didn't know that because this horrible animal was biting people's fingers for years.
Disgusting.
No one knew how to calm it down.
Yeah, I mean, even the way it's like squirming in your hands is just creeping me out. I'm not crazy about it.
And I want to kill it right now. Like, even knowing now that it cures disease, I want to kill it.
Let me take a bite. Can I take a bite?
Can I kill it?
You can say he doesn't mind. I prefer it be the testicle, but
oh man.
Everyone always says that when Cameron has to take a bite.
That does not, honestly, it doesn't taste like anything. Honestly, I haven't been able to taste or smell anything for the last 6-7 days.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Because of these testicles I just ate.
Well, in any event, I hope this has been enlightening and convincing to you. But all these creatures they need to be tested on by medical companies so we can find solutions to save actual people. The animals suck, and I acknowledge that. But they're a means to an end.
Can I say, whenever I see a dating profile and they say, I love animals, red flag. You know, I just, like, how can you?
The number of times I've been asked on a dating website, you must just love animals. And I'm like, you are not picking up what I'm putting down here, sister.
Is there anyone that you'd like to shout out? I know, like, you know, you have your, I guess you want to shout out Ellen, but anyone who's, maybe, we're fans of some comedians out there. You want to mention any of them so that listeners can follow them?
Maybe plug their social media accounts or anything?
Just gather myself here. Well, there are two groups I think are kind of funny. One of them is the Back Pocket character comedy show, and it's directed by John Milheiser. They're funny people. They go up there and they say funny things to no one, and it's hilarious. That's the first one. The other one is Kissy Face. It's like a sketch comedy group, and it's hilarious. It's a good time. If it's not funny, it's at least interesting, which I appreciate. So if you search either of those on Instagram, they're a real rip-roaring good time.
You know, the overlap between our guests and fans of improv and sketch comedy has been so frequent. It's been great. I love it. I'm a huge fan of improv and sketch as well, so this is great.
Oh, not me. It's just, for me, it's all the science, it's all the medicine.
It's all dollars and cents.
People might want to look up Brennan Lee comedy, I think it is, also. On
Guy's a fucking hack.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hack, so just follow him to, roast him or whatever.
Yeah, follow him ironically.
He's a tool, and his head is too big. It's too big. You can see it on stage. But thank you both. I appreciate it, and I am indebted to you. I'm very indebted to you both, and thank you for bringing up Berger's disease too. It means a lot.
Thank you. We get that all the time.
There's no known cure as far as I know, but it's good to know that other people are staying strong.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually, speaking of that, I've got a lot of things soaking in Robitussin right now. I need to flip them over.
Right. Okay. So, well, thank you so much again to Herman here. Thank you to our producer Cameron. Thank you to Did You Know the Host?